So what is going on? It's Nero Talk 23. I'm back with another video. Before we get into the video, YouTube, I need you to hit the like, comment, and subscribe button. Turn on that post notification bell while you at it. We got another true crime story. We got the greedy 15-year-old who shot both parents for inheritance and then his two little bros. Let's get straight into it.
This boy has just found his entire family murdered in their home. But he doesn't really seem concerned about it because he's the killer. While pretending to be at a sleepover, he snuck back home, took his father's gun, and wiped out his entire family before going back to play video games with his friends.
Can you be right about it? Can just walk away from her? And then I shot her mom. And then she's still sleeping. Yep. I waited for a little bit now, and then she went back to sleep. I shot her.
But why would he do such an evil thing? This is the shocking case of Nicholas Browning, the greedy 15-year-old who shot both parents for inheritance and then his two little brothers.
How sick can you be?
They're just such great people and such a great family. You know, it's hard not to think of all the good things that happened with them. And they did just contributed so much to the school and community.
By all accounts, the Brownings were an amazing family. Quiet, friendly, and active members of the Cockeysville community in Baltimore, Maryland. The dad, John, was a successful lawyer who was also involved in community events, while the mom, Tamara, was also a dedicated homemaker. Their three sons, Nicholas, Gregory, and Benjamin, were great kids who did really well in school and seemed respectful. Nicholas, or Nick as he was properly known, was the eldest, and at 15 he was described as the golden boy. He was an honors student, a star athlete, and a dedicated Boy Scout. Everything seemed perfect for the Brownings until February 1st, 2008, when it all came crashing down in the most horrific way.
Crazy.
That day, Nick had spent a night at a friend's house, playing video games and watching movies. The next day, on Saturday, he and his friends went to the mall and did some shopping before heading over to Nick's house in the afternoon. As his friends waited outside, Nick went inside the house using the garage door. But moments later, he came out with a horror-stricken face and said that he had found his dad's dead body on the ground floor. The police got to the scene at around 5 p.m., and what they found was so devastating that even hardened detectives were affected.
Police say the bodies of 4 people, a man, a woman, and 2 boys, were found after 5 yesterday afternoon at their home in the 10,000 block of Powers Avenue in Cockeysville. Tonight, community members have placed candles and flowers at the home of the victims as an expression of sorrow.
How sick can you be to
Hey, do
kill
you
your
ever walk
family
into a
for
room
some
and completely
fucking
forget
money,
why you're
bro?
there?
Yeah.
Hell out of my face.
Neighbors watch as Baltimore County Police scoured the Browning home. Police say just before 5 p.m. Saturday night, they received a 911 call from 15-year-old Nicholas Browning. He told police he had spent Friday night and Saturday at a friend's house, and when he came home, he found his father dead inside the residence.
It was a massacre. All 4 family members had been gunned down in their sleep. The dad, John Browning, was found lying on the living room couch with blood coming from his nose, while the mom, Tamara, was upstairs in her bed with a single gunshot wound to her head.
Damn, to the
The
head?
2 sons, Gregory and Benjamin, had also been murdered in cold blood in their beds. The horrific murders shook the entire community as neighbors tried to understand how someone would want to wipe out an entire family. What kind of monster would do such a horrible thing?
They fucking son. The hell? They son.
As the police began their investigation, they noticed that although the scene had been staged to look like a break-in, nothing in the house was missing, and all the doors and windows were intact, meaning that the killer either had the key or was familiar with the house. But who could it be? The only remaining family member was Nick, and he told detectives that he had been at a friend's house when everything happened, and when he came home, he found his family dead.
So you guys get to back home. What happened then? Then I opened the garage door. I walk inside. How do you open the garage door? How do you do that? I just code. Is there? Oh, okay. But outdoor code, right? You keep the garage door opens or something. Okay. And so I walk inside. And then the door's unlocked, which is weird because one of my parents locked the door.
Which door? The door in the
door into the garage.
kitchen?
In the kitchen.
Okay, from the garage.
That was locked, so I figured it would be locked, but it wasn't. So I walked in,
Okay.
and I saw my father on the couch, and that's sort of okay.
What did you see about that? I know it's awful. What did you see?
I saw he was on the couch, and there's blood on his face.
It's worth noting that Nick does not display any sort of emotion, even as he talks about finding his entire family murdered. At some points, he even orders burgers and fries and eats comfortably like he's in a restaurant or something, and his family didn't just get murdered. While Nick claimed that he was surprised to find the door leading from the garage unlocked, investigators found out that he was actually the one that had asked his younger brother Greg to open it.
I do remember one thing to tell you. Nick told his little brother to keep the door unlocked for him to come in last night.
Why would Nick do that and then lie to the police about it? This, and the fact that Nick was unemotional about losing his family, made investigators believe that he might be hiding something.
I'm gonna shed one tear for your family.
You were totally unemotional about this. You walk into a house, your whole family's murdered, and you just, I didn't do it. Why would I do it?
So crying would make you believe
I think you're trying to convince yourself.
Oh my God.
You're doing a terrible job of convincing me.
He tried to start crying,
The more
bro.
investigators talked to Nick's friends, the more they learned that Nick was not the golden boy that he appeared to be. Nick's friends said that during the sleepover, Nick had snuck back to his house at around midnight, telling them that he was going to get the family car and take them out for a ride. However, hours later, when he failed to show up, one of his friends called him to check where he was. Nick claimed that he had fallen asleep in the car waiting for his family to fall asleep so he could get the car keys.
And so I didn't want to take the car out, so because the lights were on, has to work. And so I went in the car and started out, and they'll go to bed in a half hour, and the lights will be off, so I was sitting there, and I fall asleep. Then I get a call from Alex around, I think, 5 in the morning.
Okay.
And then it wakes me up, and then I slept in the car, and the lights are still in the house.
When Nick showed up without the car,
Whining.
he told his friends that he couldn't get the car keys. But later, while they were at the mall, the friends said that they saw Nick take the keys out of his pocket. Weird, right? But there's more. Nick's friends said that Nick had been getting in trouble with his dad and had even joked about killing him. But was he really capable of committing such a heinous crime? Apparently, yes.
What reason would I have to kill my brothers?
That's what we're trying to find out.
If I had something with my father, why?
Why do the rest of the family?
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
No matter who you are, you can make every day better with Canon. Stream live for the little wins and the big celebrations.
What is he showing him a picture of his family? Trying to make him cry or something? Tell her.
Nick tried to make investigators believe that he was not the killer because he had no reason to, but as investigators continued to press him, he finally confessed.
Early Sunday morning, he did indeed admit that he had killed him. He had been having some sort of disagreements with his father, and this is how he resolved them.
So you kill him?
Nick claimed that his dad was abusive towards him and would hit him and yell at him in front of his friends. So that night, when he found him sleeping on the couch, he decided to take his revenge.
The gun was out on the workshop bench.
What happened?
I walked up. I sat there for a half hour.
He was sleeping.
Yeah, standing over him. And then I went in between putting the gun up to his head and pulling it back down and up.
Did you have a pillow up too, or?
Yeah, just a gun. The gun was... I'm not sure if I meant to pull the trigger.
I don't feel bad for him, bro. All that crying.
After killing his father, Nick waited to see if the other family members would come downstairs to investigate the noise. And when they didn't, he went upstairs and found his mother sleeping in her bed and executed her.
I just walked away from her. And then I shot my mom. And then
She's still sleeping.
Yep. I waited for a little bit, and then she went back to sleep. And I shot her.
With both his parents dead, Nick still wasn't satisfied. He went into his brother's room, found them still sleeping, and pulled the trigger.
Ooh, brothers, bro.
Why the brothers, man? I didn't. I thought no one was there to say anything that my story would go because I'm the only one.
While Nick claimed that he killed his brothers to remove any witnesses, something he said to his friends months before the murder made the police believe otherwise.
Months before the murder, he had told children on the bus, 16-year-old, 15-year-olds, that he was tired of his father telling him what to do, and he was going to kill his father, he was going to kill his brother so he didn't have to share the inheritance.
After the confession, Nick told detectives where he had hidden the gun in some bushes, and he was arrested and charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder.
What the fuck, bro?
16-year-old Nick Browning Jr. wept as a prosecutor read chilling details of how he murdered his parents and his 2 younger brothers as they slept. It happened February 2nd inside a family home in Cockeysville. A sheriff's deputy brought him a box of tissues. The plea, hammered out in a jury room, came on the day defense attorneys were scheduled to argue against allowing prosecutors to use a recorded confession Browning made to police at trial. Browning pleaded guilty to 4 counts of murder in exchange for parole, following 2 consecutive life prison terms. Prosecutors had sought 4 life sentences without the possibility of parole.
That's what he deserved.
After taking the plea deal, Nick was given 2 life sentences with the possibility of parole after 23 years. But the story doesn't end there. After wiping out his entire family, Nick is now lonely and looking for someone to confide in on some prisoner dating websites.
His profile reads Nick Browning, Taurus, convicted of homicide, multiple counts. Browning's page delves into his sexual preferences and implores strangers to write to him, saying, quote, I have a long road ahead of me, and I would love to have someone to talk to through this expletive journey of mine. All things considered, I'm still upbeat about life, despite my bleak surroundings. I love to have fun. If nothing else, I have an interesting story to tell. Someone from my background generally doesn't end up in prison. Browning's lawyer, Joshua Treem, is unsure if any pen pals have responded to the site. We asked Treem his take on the salacious information included in the profile. He told us, quote, his responses are a product of him being a teenager who has been locked up for 4 years. He's been essentially cut off since the day he was arrested. To the extent that this is something he's using to establish some kind of a relationship is a good thing. Treem adds that Browning does get regular visits from relatives and friends, supporters who may be pained by the convicted killer's response. When asked if he has siblings, a simple none.
What do you think about this case? Do you think Nick regrets what he did?
No.
Let me know your thoughts in the comment section.
No, he don't
and
regret.
if you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up.
Why is he able
and
to get
subscribe
why is
for
people
more.
visiting him? Bro, people like that, bro, if you do something like that, bro, I don't know, bro. I don't want to say, what's it called, solitary confinement and all this and that, but I don't know. My thing is, if he killed this family, I'm not visiting him. Would I look like going to visit him? He just killed mom, dad, 2 brothers. The hell? Then auntie coming, you killed my sister, brother, whatever, but it is what it is, YouTube. But be rocking with the channel. Leave me a like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one.